Well, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. As a matter of fact, welcome to our very first video. My name is Kenny J. I am the founder and CEO of Share Media LLC. We are a media consulting firm. It is good to have you here today. We're going to be talking about how you can become a radio DJ. That question never stops coming, especially as the business continues to up. But the industry, and I certainly love talking about it. Now, I did a search to see if there was any content on this subject. There is a little bit, but I could not find anything up to date. So that kind of prompted me to do this video. It is what, September 21st, 2024. So before we dive in, I want to talk a little bit more about what I have done in the industry. I think it's important about the person that's going to be their perspective. So I've been doing it for, man, over 3 decades. So I had a little landscape going on up here when I started many years ago. Some of you may not have even been born back then. So a long time. Does that mean I know everything? Absolutely not. But I'm going to give you my perspective. And so I started off actually at a small town radio station. I had a lot of fun on my first radio station. Obviously, the game has changed since I started, changed a lot, totally different. Uh, Ended up moving to a bigger city, another city, another city, another city, another. And so I frequent flyer miles on, and worked at a station in Florida. I never will forget this. It was in Palm Beach, Florida, and I was working as an afternoon talent, but they had a broadcasting school there. It's called the Connecticut Schools of Broadcasting. So shout out to them. They invited me to speak at one of their open houses, and I did. Then invited me back to help out with teaching a class. That led to them offering me teaching. So I was doing radio and teaching at the same time. And then maybe a year later, they opened up a campus in Irving, Texas. They knew I was from Texas, and they offered me to come back and be the school. And I did that. They shut that school and help them grow and develop their skill set and ultimately move in the direction of being a radio personality. So again, don't know everything, but I've been in the industry for quite some time. Then I transitioned to becoming a music director. That was a lot of fun, being in charge of the sound of the radio station. And that kind of transitioned into becoming a program director. That then transitioned in me becoming a brand manager, which is the same thing as kind of like being an operations manager. I was in charge of uh, two stations within a 5 or 6 station cluster. And after that, I started my consulting firm, Share Media LLC. And one of my first clients, you may have heard of them, ABC, Walt Disney Company. And so I helped them develop syndication and coach and work with the syndication talent. And that's my short edited story of being in the radio business for over 3 decades. And so, what would I tell you on how to become a radio personality? Back in the day, I would say internship, hands down. Let's do that. Because not only would you get a chance to see what it's like to be a radio personality, but you would be exposed to some of the other various departments within that radio station, which is always a plus. The more knowledge you can get, the better. You may decide, hey, I don't want to be a radio personality after being exposed to all the other departments. I may want to do this, but always a great opportunity. Now, internships still exist to this day and 2024, yes, but not like they used to. Depending on where you are, it may or may not be available. But if it is, I would definitely uh, seek information on how you can, get that opportunity. It's a plus if you can get it. Now, if you can't, let's talk about option number two. Option number two, I think is really good. I think you will can get somewhere with this. Option number two is going directly to the radio station. Reach out, the station that you listen to in your city. Does that mean you're going to get hired in the city? Maybe, maybe not. If you're in a big major market, probably not. But I still want you to reach out to not just your favorite station, but multiple radio stations within your city. Here's how I want you to reach out. You got a pen and paper? Oh, I'll give you a second to get something to write with, but or you can always go back on this video. But I want you to reach out. I want you to go to the website of that radio station. It's 2024. most radio stations should have a website. And if it's a small town, they still should have a website. But if they don't, you can call them. But here's what we were looking for when we go to the website. We want to go to their contact page, and we want to find out who the program director is for that station. And if it's a station that has, or a company that has multiple stations within that building, they have a cluster of stations, they may have more than one program director. So we want to get the contact information for all of those program directors in that building. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, when I say program director, that's just a big word for manager, the programming department of a radio station. We just call them PDs, program directors. And so if that contact information is not on the website, now we want to call the station. You're going to probably speak to the receptionist. He or she should be able to tell you who's the program director for the stations in the building. If it's just one email address. If it's multiple stations, you may have a program director that's over multiple stations. It may be 5 and they may be over 2 or 3. Long story short, all the program directors, you want to get their email address. You want to send an email. Here's what you want to do. You want to say, hey, this is Kenny. I wanted to introduce myself and express that I am learning how to become a radio DJ. How do I get in the industry with no experience? Okay. You can also, I would also recommend sending your resume. Now, you probably don't have any experience at this point in radio, but that's okay. What have you done in the past? What are you doing now? Are you a student? Are you working? That resume will help them know you a little bit better in this introduction. If that makes sense. So we want to do that. I also want you to put together what we call a air check. That's basically another word for an audition. This is so the program director can hear what you would sound like behind the microphone. Okay. So you're going to put together some radio breaks. What is breaks? So when you're listening to your station, you're driving, you're listening, and you're hearing your favorite song, but you may hear at some point another song is coming on and the talent on air personnel talking. That's called a radio break. So we want to get you together 3, 4, 5 radio breaks, 2 minutes, no more than 2.5 minutes max, and condense that down. When I say condensed, they don't want to hear a lot of music. They just want to hear you. So 1 break, 2 breaks, all back to back. And again, 2 minutes, no more than 2.5. That's a radio air check. Now, what are you going to talk about? You know what I used to do? Again, 3 decades ago. I would write down what they were talking about. Then I would go back, have my little microphone, and I'd have a little song. And at the end of the song, I would say what they just said, but I would change it up. And it was what we called a mock air check. It wasn't real. It was just me doing an air check. And that's what I did. That's what you can do. And so put together an air check. So now you're sending, your introduction, you're sending your resume, and you're sending an air check. You're sending what we call a radio package to that program director. And that is going to give that a little bit more of a punch, if that makes sense. So a bigger incentive for them to reach back out to you. And that's what we want. We want to get a response. And so what one of the PDs will reach out to you, he or she. They will say thank you for reaching out. Now, they shouldn't say we don't have anything, because you're not asking for a job at this point. You're introducing yourself and you're asking for information. But that air check is going to, in most cases, it would for me, prompt me to give you a critique. And I would ask for it. Say, hey, I've also attached my air check. Would love to get your critique on what I can do to be better. We love to coach and develop and help talent. So one of those PDs, I feel confident, will respond. I want you to reach out and let me know when it happens, by the way. But they'll reach out and they'll give you their feedback on your air check and what you can do better. You take that feedback and you insert that into the second air check that you're going to do. So now you got this dialogue going back and forth with the program director. You're developing a relationship, and that leads to good things. Will it lead to a job? Maybe, maybe not. They may say, we don't have anything in terms of on-air personality, but we may have something in another department. Are you open to that? The answer is always yes. It's easier to get to where you want to go from within than on the outside, right? You're able to interact with some of the other air personalities and learn more about the industry you explore. So if that's the offer, take it. But I think this is where we want to start. We want to get a, meet some program directors and have that dialogue going back and forth. And I think ultimately that's going to help you in your transition to get to become a radio personality. Let me see. I'm gonna want to wrap this up really quick. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes still. Some of the things you'll be doing. You'll be on the air. You'll need to do what we call show prep. You'll need to be prepared for what you're going to do on your show. Of content will you be providing? You're definitely going to be doing a lot. You're going to be posting on that station's website. You're going to certainly be a part of their social media. There may be some Facebook Live, some IG Live. You're going to be doing that daily, several times daily, just for the station, but maybe even for some of the clients. You're going to be doing speaking engagements. You're going to be doing what we call remotes. That's broadcasting from another location. Talent fee in most cases are involved, so that's a good thing. Talking with city leaders, interviewing celebrities. That's fun. So you'll be doing commercials and productions and, maybe going out and doing street. There's a lot of things you're going to be doing as an on-air personality. But, man, it's a lot of fun, and it's a rewarding career if you stick with it. The better you are at creating content, being a great storyteller, have a strong digital platform, social media presence, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. So listen, I hope this has helped. We're going to have a lot more videos coming. This channel is going to be specifically about radio, period. We might touch on television, but primary radio. Guests on here. We'll have some veterans on here talking about the industry. Hopefully some program directors on. Even maybe some music execs talking about that for those who are trying to get into that side of the industry. And so hopefully you'll stick around with us as we grow the channel. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe. If this content was helpful, give us a thumbs up. That will definitely help the channel grow. It'll certainly help us, like I say, get in front of more people. And subscribe is, I mentioned that, but notification bell, so when there's a new video, you'll be notified that it is there for you to check out. Listen, good luck. I hope that I'll be hearing you on the radio soon. And if you have any comments, something I didn't address, you have some additional questions, leave it in the comment. And of course, you can reach out to me. That information is in the description below as well. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it very much. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Appreciate you.